It's been dubbed a new cloak for Christchurch's Port Hills. An ambitious plan to replant millions of trees on the fire-ravaged Port Hills kicked off today. Last year's fire ripped through nearly 2,000 hectares of trees and farmland, undoing years of hard toil put in by tree planting volunteers. Dan Dalgetty reports.
When you look around at the Port Hills, there are large gaps where trees used to stand. Only stumps now remain, a vivid reminder of the damage caused by the Port Hills fires. The Te Tapuwai Ōrākau Trust is trying to change that by replanting 10 million trees over the next 20 to 30 years. They made a start today, planting 40 cabbage trees at the Christchurch Adventure Park. The Trust chair,
the 10 million trees comes from, and in fact 10 million trees may be a fraction of what's required over time.
Port Hills MP Ruth Dyson says people became interested in restoring the Port Hills to its former glory after seeing the devastation. She says a silver lining to the whole episode is the possibility there may end up being more native trees on the hills than before the fires.
The Port Hills are still pretty bare. I mean, we lost a lot of trees during the fires, of course, from around the park, so that's a huge amount of trees lost, but they weren't native trees. So what we're going to be planting here and over the Port Hills is a restoration of the original Port Hills vision.
Christchurch Adventure Park owner Anne Newman says the area is slowly starting to regenerate.
It's incredible, even in the course of a year, the amount of trees that have come back, the natural growth that's come back has been great. But to be able to give it a bit of a helping hand, put some native plants back in, is the best thing that we can do for longevity of the Port Hills and the forest itself.
Students from local schools were on hand to help out with what many consider to be the city's playground. Ben Ellis is one of those who was hard at work.
I really want to see the mountain bike park covered with trees again. It would definitely add to the experience. It was definitely more getting away from the city. It felt like you were in nature, really embedded in nature.
The trees don't come cheap though. Philip Duval says the Trust is trying to raise funds from every available avenue.
Well, I'd like to think we could plant 10 million, but it does depend on funding. We have to buy the trees or we have to propagate the trees, and that's not an easy task. I'm hopeful, I'm optimistic, and I'm very positive about the potential to achieve our goals.
Those wanting to lend a hand restoring the Port Hills will have a chance next month, with 500 more trees ready and waiting to be planted. In Christchurch for Checkpoint, Dan Dalgetty.